Hi guys, what is up? My name is Karen aka cakedbybabyk and welcome back to my channel! You're gathered here today because I have some big news. I got bangs. There is an adjustment for sure. There is a learning curve and I'm slowly getting the hang of them, but that's why they kind of look atrocious right now. Oh yeah, and I got engaged! Ah! I thought it'd be fun to do a little get ready with me while I talk about the proposal and just the day in general, and also answering questions, because a lot of people had questions. You guys are like little nosy nellies. I love it. Also, I'm gonna link everything that I'm using below because all of this just happens to be the makeup that I wore when I got engaged and it held up really well. I also have a more in-depth product breakdown on my TikTok. Go check that out if you haven't already. Starting out with the most asked question, and that was whether or not I knew the proposal was happening. I had a hunch, like a very obvious hunch. Basically, I was like 99.99% sure that it was happening. And the reason for that was I was taking a trip down to San Diego with my best friend and roommate from college, and Nate has always said that he would propose in San Diego. I'm gonna dive into a little bit of context because I feel like it's important to grasp the full picture. I went to college in San Diego. I lived there for the full 4 years, and that's when Nate and I started dating. However, we've actually known each other since middle school, and we only started dating like freshman year of college. We were actually pretty good friends like junior, senior year of high school. I remember I would always talk to him about my boy troubles and he would talk to me about his girl troubles. But it was just one of those friendships that, oh shit. As I was saying, it was just one of those friendships that we never saw beyond that, or at least I never saw beyond that. Come to find out later that he did see beyond it. Anyways, I'm in my freshman year of college and we're still keeping in touch even though he is living still in our hometown. He eventually got out of the friend zone and I continued on with my 4 years at the university, even though I was just utterly miserable. I did not have the best college experience, and living in San Diego was simultaneously the worst and the best part of my life. I just felt like I didn't fit in at my college, and subsequently my roommate slash best friend now felt the same way, which is why we're so close. And I bring up this whole college experience because the whole reason why we were in San Diego was to do like an anti-college reunion. Basically, our college was having a reunion that same weekend that I got engaged, and I was under the impression that we were just going to like spend a weekend, because my best friend, her name is Jalissa, she had been talking to me about possibly like not really going, like we would go to San Diego and just not attend the reunion. We had barely talked about it, and then when she told me that she booked the hotel, I was like, okay, didn't really consult me on that. I wasn't even sure if we were actually doing it. Like, I just so happened to be free that weekend, so I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. That's when I was like, okay, I'm getting a little suspicious. Channeling my inner Bailey Sarian there. But my long-winded answer is that yes, I kind of had a hunch that it was happening. The morning of, I was getting ready. We had plans to go to brunch and then go to the cliffs, and I was like, oh, I wonder why we're going to the cliffs. Is this focusing? Has this been out of focus the whole time? Just focusing on Miss Selena in the background. If you know me in real life, you know that I'm just generally a very troll person. So I was just making Jalissa's life like 10 times harder because I would be like, oh, why are we going to the cliffs? Like, is something happening? And she was just like absolutely done with my ass. So we put our name down for brunch, and it's in this really cute area called Seaport Village in San Diego. So our hotel was just like right up the street kind of. So we walked down, we put our names down at the restaurant, and then they were like, oh, it's gonna be like a 30 to 40 minute wait. So we were like, okay, we'll just walk around. So we're walking around this cute little area, and I stumble across this place that was selling so many Jellycats, and I feel like Jellycats are like a relatively new thing. They're like the Beanie Babies of this generation. It had just gotten me my first Jellycat to start my collection that week for Valentine's Day, so it was just like a fairly new thing, and I was just like in heaven absolutely looking at all these Jellycats. I bought 2, and after I bought those 2, I saw an engagement ring Jellycat, and I was like, oh my god, it is a sign. And I really wanted to get it, but I had a feeling that I would be getting another ring that day, so I didn't. After we killed all that time, we went back to brunch and we had to eat pretty quickly because like Jalissa was rushing me, but not really rushing me. I'm all like, why are we having to eat so fast? Like, what's the rush? And mind you, the weather during this entire weekend was just straight cloudy and cold and gloomy. So we finish eating, we get to the cliffs, and the weather has cleared up significantly. It truly could not have been more perfect because I feel like it wasn't in the forecast to have like the sun come out. I felt like little orphan Annie. Sorry, my battery died, my god. Anyways, the sun came out. It was absolutely beautiful, and I'm trying to like figure out where Nate is, and Jalissa was like, I don't know where we're going. Come to find out, it's because since it was like down the cliffs a little bit, there was no cell phone service. So we're kind of like walking along trying to find where they are, and all of a sudden I see like the cute little picnic setup. You know how when you hire these companies to like set up a little table and umbrella, like plates and utensils and all this decor, like that's the vibe. So I see this and someone is actually setting up, so I'm just like trolling once again, and I'm saying to Jalissa, oh my god, like, is this for me? Like, is this Nate's proposal? I was like, imagine I just like go up to this person and be like, oh my god, like, where is he? But we had to walk past that site to get to where Nate was. So he was like down the walkway a little bit in a more secluded area, which was nice because, you know, not a lot of people were like passing through. If you're familiar with the San Diego area, then you'll know that Sunset Cliffs is just like a very poppin' area for people to hike, to look at the view, to just like hang out. A lot of people go down to the beach. So it was just like generally a very like foot traffic heavy area. But I'm walking on this path and then I see him and he just, I'm not even kidding you, when he saw me, he legit burst into tears and he started crying like really hard, and it was really sweet and cute. He has always told me like, yeah, I'm not gonna cry when I propose, like I don't think I'm gonna cry, and I'm like, sure, Jan. And he actually had to take a minute to like calm himself down before he could start on his little spiel. And a huge thing about mine and Nate's relationship is that we just love goofing off together. Like, he's the funniest person I have ever met. I laugh the hardest when I am with him, and we just like we have a very like, I'm stumbling over my words, but we have a very like goofy relationship. Like, he brings out that side of me because most of the time like I am super serious. Because of my anxiety, it's really hard for me to like let loose and truly enjoy myself, and I feel like I can do that when he's around. And also in situations where I don't know what to do, I will just start laughing. Like awkward situations, especially if people like sing happy birthday to me, I just start like uncontrollably laughing because I just feel so awkward, like I don't know what to do. So I'm walking down this path and I see him just like crying, and I'm just like laughing. Finally get to where he is, and there's like another picnic set up. It was just absolutely beautiful. He had sunflowers there, which are my favorite flower. He had gotten our favorite poke, which we have a favorite spot in San Diego. It's like the best poke that we've had outside of Hawaii. So this setup is like on the bottom of like a little slope. So he's trying to like lead me down the slope and he slips and almost falls. So that makes me laugh even harder. He's crying, I'm crying because he's crying, and then we're just like laughing at this whole situation because we both feel awkward, and then like Nate just almost ate shit. Like in majority of all the photos that we have from the engagement, or actually both of us are just either laughing or crying. He does his whole speech, I'm crying, and he actually did something really cool where I have mentioned before that like a lot of people black out when they get proposed to, and this is also what all of our other friends who are married have said to us. Like, you just forget, like your adrenaline is pumping, you're just super excited, and then later on you just like slowly start to forget. And I could feel myself, like I made a mental note to like be present in the moment and like listen to what he's saying and try to remember that. Come to find out that Nate was using his big brain energy, and he had a mic like on under, I think it was like on the flip side, like the underside of his jacket lapel, I think it's called. So he has a full recording of like him and his spiel, and the audio is like crystal clear, and I kid you not, I've watched it like every single day since we've gotten engaged. And I'm really glad that he did, because even though I made a mental note to like remember everything he said, I found myself like forgetting, like slowly, like all of it just kind of like floated out of my mind because the excitement is just like so much. Now I'm just super excited that we have like a recording, and I think we just want to keep that to ourselves, at least like what was said. And the funniest thing is like, we're watching this video back and you can see Jalissa like teeny tiny dot in the background like recording on her phone, and it just makes it like 10 times better. Like when we were watching it back, I think I was laughing for like a solid 10 minutes It was just the perfect proposal. I didn't have any like specifics in mind. Like I knew what was happening in San Diego. I had a hunch it would happen like at the cliffs because that's kind of where our whole relationship started. And like I said, I have like a really complicated relationship with San Diego. Like I love it and I hate it. And I feel like this whole experience has just healed something in me because those 4 years at college were just like super traumatic and I'm still trying to like work through all that trauma. And I feel like Nate proposing in San Diego was just like very sentimental and also healing for me in that way. My cousin and her boyfriend were also there helping with the proposal because number 1, they live in San Diego, and number 2, my cousin is actually a photographer. She was there capturing the entire engagement. She did such a wonderful job. I'm gonna take this time to plug her because I have taken photos like with her other than this, and she's just absolutely phenomenal at getting you to like loosen up, especially couples. But yeah, she's amazing. The photos are so stunning. But after all that happened, you know, like obviously Nate and I want to have some alone time. Like he gave me the debrief on everything, which was so much fun to listen to. This poor man was stressed, okay? He was like stressed to the point of like nausea and like not eating and sleeping. I also think that's why he was crying so hard because it just probably felt like a release. Also unrelated, but I actually wore these like Ardell seamless lashes while I was getting engaged. And although I'm not going to use them right now, I just wanted to mention them because they held up through all my crying. But anyways, like I was saying, we had about like an hour and a half of alone time, because Bri and her boyfriend left, and then Jalissa was also there in the beginning, but like after everything was said and done, she was like, okay, I'm gonna head back to the hotel, pack up all your stuff, and head home. I will drop off your stuff tomorrow. And I was like, taken aback because I was under the impression that we were staying one more night. So Nate was like, yeah, we're going home tonight. And I was like, oh, okay. Come to find out, the reason why we were going home that night is because he planned a whole surprise party for us. So we do the 2-hour drive back to LA, and I kind of had a hunch that something was going on. We pull into the driveway and the windows to the living room like don't really have curtains, so I can like see into the house. I can see someone's head like bobbing at the base of the window as if they're like trying to hide, and I was like, okay. Open the door, and what do you know, everyone is there waiting to celebrate us, which was so much fun. I kind of was expecting like a little get together, but I just was not expecting the level of like care and effort that went into this party. Like there were florals everywhere, like a beautiful balloon arch, photo backdrop, photos plastered of us like everywhere. Just had fun the rest of the night, and that was basically the whole day. Not gonna lie, it was a lot to take in the best way possible, and it just like was so tiring. Oh my god, I didn't even tell you guys the rest of the freaking Jellycat story. Okay, so the reason why I brought up those Jellycats was because of the whole engagement ring Jellycat. Nate and I actually went back to Seaport Village to get it. Like after the whole proposal was said and done and we were about to head home, he was just like, let's go get it to commemorate like this whole day. So I'm on FaceTime with my sister and I'm telling her our plan, and then I get to the store. I have the Jellycat ring in my hand. I'm about to pay, and my sister calls me. She FaceTimes me, and then she was like, is this what you're gonna go buy? And she literally holds up the same Jellycat, 2 little engagement rings just staring at each other through FaceTime. My confused ass is like, how do you have that? And she told me that Mimi, another cousin of ours, knew that I was getting engaged that week, and she dropped it off for me a few days earlier. How did she know that I collected these? Like, only posted that I started collecting them this past week. It was only a few days ago. So like there's no way that she could have seen that, ordered it, and then have it shipped to our place in time, especially because Jellycats are shipping from London. Like they're a UK brand. So I was just super confused, and I put the ring Jellycat that I was holding back down, and I was like, wait, how did she do that? And come to find out that she just bought that for me because she was like, oh, I just think it was like really cute. Like I love Jellycats and I feel like she might like it. So I just got her one. I still am in disbelief every single time I tell that story because there is just like no way that that could have happened like without any like indicator for her, but it did. The universe is. But now I kind of want to get into some of the questions that y'all had for me over on Instagram because I did a little Q&A on my story. Someone said, finally, Nate, we have been waiting for forever. Same girl. I don't even think that I've mentioned this, but we've been together for almost 8 years. So it's it's been a long time coming. How did you two first meet and what's top on your list to get done for wedding planning? So I think I mentioned this already. We met in middle school. And for wedding planning, I don't even know where to start. Nate and I have always been very open when it comes to our impending nuptials. We actually designed my ring together and we had to go to Arizona to do that consultation. If you want a story time on that, I did a vlog over on Instagram and on TikTok, just like talking about the whole process. But since we had to drive to Arizona, we had a 5-hour drive there and back to like talk about all things wedding. So we've already come up with like possible venues, like what we want to do. I don't know. We kind of flip-flop back and forth between like eloping and like having a wedding just because everything is so expensive in California. Honestly, we're just trying to like soak in every bit of like being newly engaged. I feel like this week has just been really hectic for me. Actually, this month has been really hectic for me. On Monday, I had to just like dive straight into work and I feel like I haven't even taken a second to like really breathe. We are going on a trip tomorrow though, which I have yet to prepare anything for. And even though it's technically for work, I feel like the week is just gonna be like really good for us because we'll be with each other and it's just gonna like revitalize us, hopefully. As I said, what does it feel like to know I will be stalking every bridal post? It feels like I'm the main character. But to speak on bridal content, I am really excited to just like share the process, whatever that may be, because we're still trying to decide what we want for ourselves. But I have found that it's already becoming a little bit difficult to kind of like toe the line between doing stuff for content that's related to the wedding and just having the wedding be for us, because I am really conscious about like work-life balance, or I should say I'm starting to become more conscious about work-life balance. And that's the iffy thing about being a content creator, is that like everything is content. There are some times where you just want to like turn that off, but it's also super exciting and I want to share everything with you guys, if that makes sense. I will definitely be doing a lot of wedding planning bridal content. I just don't know if I'll share everything. All right, next question. Did you ring shop together? Yes. Again, if you're curious about that, I have like a whole vlog up on the process. Nate and I literally went ring shopping like last year in the summer. So it's been a full ass like 7 months. Needless to say, I was getting a little bit antsy, but we'll save that for another time. Someone asked, when is the wedding? And honestly, I don't know. Like I said, we're just trying to like bask in this engagement period. And I want to have at least a little bit of time before we dive like head on into wedding planning. Honestly, we're not in a rush at all. Like we already live together. So I feel like that is a big thing when people get engaged. It's like, oh, like we can move in together or we can like start thinking about living together. But he's been here for like the last over 2 years. What's really surprising though is that I thought it would feel different. For some reason it feels exactly the same. I don't know if it just hasn't like hit me yet. But either way, we were both super happy and we're just trying to like enjoy this time. No wedding date yet. And honestly, I don't think I would share when. I'm trying to tell myself throughout this entire process that boundaries are important, not just with people in our orbit that are helping with the wedding, but also with me and the interwebs. Like, I love you guys, but I do think there is a lot of bad energy out there and I just don't want to put all of the intimate details out there for people to like send negative energy towards, if that makes sense. And of course, Nate agrees, like we've had conversations about this. So if he doesn't want me sharing specific things, I'm going to honor that and respect his wishes. That is it for this video. I can't believe it actually happened. Like, if you guys are watching this and you've made it to the end, thank you so much for your support. Like, any well wishes, Nate and I appreciate immensely. Like, we have just been shown an outpouring of love from all realms of our lives and it's just really exciting and like we feel so happy. That's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good, especially because I'm going to be documenting a lot of the wedding planning process, and I'll see you guys in the next one.